Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co host.
Grandma Gail.
So, everyone who is currently listening to the show or watching, please, please, please remember to follow us. If you're listening on Apple, if you're listening on Spotify, just press the follow button. It's usually like in the right corner or right below our show title. It makes a huge difference to the success of our show. And if you're already following us, leave a little rating and review. You'll find the 5-star option somewhere on the page. And yeah, it makes a huge difference to our show and making a good one. So thank you in advance. Grandma, let's talk about what we have been up to the last week or so. We had a nice Father's Day brunch.
It was delicious, actually. But the weather is the story in New York every weekend. I mean, I don't think I can take it anymore. I don't know how many weekends in a row, but we haven't seen the sun.
Mm-hmm. And you're like really into the weather. Like you're always talking about it. So I think that maybe we petition for you to be a weather.
I would like to be a weather girl. Or weather lady.
Yeah.
I have to tell you the truth. I planted flowers and they're drowning. And my daughter-in-law planted vegetables. I think they're growing already. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk from all the rain.
I'm getting a green screen and you're doing the weather for a follower.
Okay.
Because I don't care.
Oh, you don't care.
We need to find somebody who cares. No,
I think a lot of people care.
Yeah. I am actually picky about the weather. Like I can only look at AccuWeather. I don't trust any other weather source.
Well, lately the weather's been very accurate. It's just rain, but all right,
Yeah.
Kim. But it hasn't interfered with all the red carpets we've been doing. We've been doing a lot of dressing up and going on carpets. That's for sure.
Yes, and I want to get to because I went to the F1 movie yesterday, so I want to get to that. And it was a little rainy. But Father's Day, we had a buffet, and I wanted to ask about buffet eating etiquette because my dad and I, we were a little late.
Yes, as usual.
As usual, but we told everyone we were going to be late. So, and it was at least an hour in advance. So if you tell people you're going to be late an hour in advance, is that okay because you haven't left the house yet?
No, I don't think it's okay to be even 5 minutes late. You have a family dinner. It's been organized at least 2-3 weeks in advance. If there's something that causes, what could you possibly be doing at 1 o'clock that you can't be on time?
It's just time management.
Yes, well, but that's rude to everybody else. So in other words, at 1 o'clock when it's called for, we had an hors d'oeuvre.
Well, right. We walked in and everyone had eaten their...
No, not eaten. Just a first course.
Okay,
just a first course. But well, we're sitting there and it's 1:15 and everybody else managed to get there at 1 o'clock.
I guess. I think you were eating out of spite of us.
No, I don't think so. I don't think you should read that much into it, but we're sitting at a table, and I really do think that your family has an issue with time. Not your mom and not your brother, but you and your father have issues with time.
When you say your family, you mean
just the two of you.
Got it.
And it's really not right. It actually means that you're disrespectful to the people you with.
How late was I to the podcast today?
About 15 minutes.
No, 8 minutes.
No, about 15 minutes. There seems to be a problem. If you're always 15 minutes late, maybe you should start a little earlier so you could be on time.
The crazy thing is, I'm not doing anything before.
Well, that's correct.
It's not like I'm like rushing from thing to thing. It's that I don't leave enough time.
Well, that's time management, and you both fail on that.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, we got there. We ate enough food. Enough food. So you caught up, but it just is a little annoying.
Yeah. I got my dad a Levain Cookies gift card.
Oh, my God. That's just what he needs.
Yeah. I mean, he loves
food.
It. He loves it. So I thought that was a good gift. And I signed my name and my brother's name.
Right.
What do you think of like when you're getting a gift for a parent or a grandparent or whatever, do you always go in on it with your sibling, do you think?
Yeah, I think when when you're both young, yeah, we always did. I think when you get married, then you tend to
Right.
end up not doing it
Yeah, it's
anymore.
weird, I guess, if I'm like, from me, my husband, and my little brother.
Unless both spouses or or both children,
Right.
siblings have spouses and they all agree to buy one thing. It all depends on the family dynamics. But I think when you're young and not attached to a partner, it's certainly the right thing to do. Say, come in on the gift with me or whatever.
And is it the sister's job or the older sibling's job, or just depends on the dynamic of the siblings?
I think it's a dynamic, but somehow it's always the older
I think so.
person that takes charge of it.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's always in charge of everything. And it's usually, if you're a sister, if you're the older girl, you tend to take charge of everything.
Yeah. When you first met my dad, what did you think of him?
I thought he was adorable, but he always forgot things. He lost things I've known him since he's 19 years old. He lost his camera. He lost his clothing. He lost his wallet.
The crazy thing is, it returns to him.
It always returns to him. Sometimes the clothing came back pressed, which we still couldn't get over.
That makes no
We
sense.
were all in Bermuda. Everybody packed their bags. He left all his clothes in the drawer when we left, and we said, "Oh, you'll never get it back." And he gets it back in a carton with it all being perfectly
so the
washed
hotel
and
did
pressed.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Took all his laundry and pressed
That's
it.
so nice. Right. So it's like better off than how
Well, he is. If it had been any of us, the
Yeah.
other group in the thing, we would have never seen those
it never
clothes.
works that way.
Right.
Even when he's late for things, like he gets there just as it's starting.
Yeah.
Like there's never a repercussion.
I don't get it.
I know.
But you are right.
I know. Did you think when my dad and mom met, they would get married right away?
Well, they didn't get married right away.
No, but I guess that they would marry each other. I mean,
well, it was. In the beginning, I always thought it was just a crush, but then after a few years, I realized they were meant to be because they met very young. Your mom was 18 and he was 19,
right.
so and they didn't get married
Right.
from when they were 25 and 20, almost 27,
Mhm.
26 and a half. So, but they were together a long time. And then, when you tend to be either high school or college sweethearts, it's a different dynamic than when you're really not, when you meet after school, when you're working already. I think it's a different, you see each other differently.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you also they grew up together,
Right.
which is so
You're there
nice.
for so many stages.
Correct. For
But
all
sometimes
stages.
That's like not good.
Well, I don't know if it's ever, no, I don't think it's ever bad.
Really?
It's just
Sometimes
you know
I'm like,
each
I'm a
other so
different
well.
person than I was in college to an extent.
Oh, of
and then they
course.
think of you as that. And then it's like, well, that's not who I am now.
I have to say something. When you marry somebody, and I can only do this, you tend to think of the person you're with the way they were when you first met them.
That's
You
interesting.
very rarely notice them as they are today.
Yeah.
The traits and stuff that were attracted to you in the beginning really stay with you through a long relationship. I mean, everybody changes to some degree, but very much partners see each other as they were, not necessarily as they are. And hopefully you grow together. I mean, over the years, which they did.
Yeah. It's so
They went
interesting.
through
Like
a
the
lot of
first
things.
year then matters a lot, kind of. Or even the first 6 months.
Of a relationship?
Yeah. Or matters in the way you are framing your mind to think about the person.
Maybe.
Kind of interesting.
Maybe. I mean, I met my husband when I was a senior in going into my senior year in college. So my brain was already formed. But I knew what I wanted, and he fit the description of what I
No,
wanted.
your brain gets formed at 25.
25. That's true. That's when
So
it
it was
stops.
pre-formed.
So it was preformed. I
Yeah.
think, but I think mine was formed already.
You would be.
I was very ahead of the time.
Yeah.
But I think, certain people know what they need. I was listening to that Kevin O'Leary the other day, who's the fellow from Shark Tank, and he talks about his wife and children all the time. And he was saying that the most important decision you ever make is to pick the right partner, because
No pressure.
well, you have to pick the right partner, of course. But he was saying that that's really the most important thing. Someone can go along with you on your road ahead. And
It's so crazy though. Poppy can't be the same person because if our listeners saw the Poppy reveal, he's like such a grandpa. Like
Well,
he couldn't have been like that when he was.
Well, he was always an old soul. He was never a wild and crazy
Fair,
thing.
fair.
He always went to work, when he went to school, he graduated. Well, actually, we got married the day he graduated college, so business school. So I mean, he was. But in those days, in the early '60s and '70s, you filled a role. You didn't. You weren't. You did what was expected of you. That society expected. You went to school. You got married. You had children. You lived a pattern, and you didn't sort of deviate. If you live within a socioeconomic group that basically everybody was doing the same thing.
Okay, let's move on to the F1 movie that I saw yesterday because I wanted to.
So how was that Apple adventure?
Okay, it was an adventure. I will tell you that. It was like a whole day thing. And I was thinking of you because you like efficiency.
Right.
And there was a lot of like waiting around between
that would drive me crazy. I knew that was going to happen.
But first, I get to this party, which was actually in the Edition Times Square. It was like a really pretty like hotel.
But wait a minute. First, you went to a costume thing, didn't you?
Oh yeah. In the morning, this was actually pretty interesting. It was really like short and sweet.
Right.
At 10 a.m. at the Apple Store in Soho. The costume designer of the F1 movie, Julian Day, who also did like the Elton John.
Yeah, it should have been very interesting.
And so he kind of talked about his process, and he was interviewed by someone at Hearst, and that was interesting. It was like a short conversation. We got to see the trailer.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, so that went nice. Without a hitch.
Without a hitch. Went to this coffee place after, Cafe Paradiso, that's been all over Instagram.
Okay.
And it has like the not foam tops, like cream top.
Okay.
So I needed to try one of those while I was in Soho. So that was good. And then, yes, 2:30ish, I went to this party. That was like
second part of it.
The pre-party. Well, first part of the night aspect.
Right. It was a whole hours and hours long day.
So I get there and I'm already a little nervous because like usually you come with me or Eliza, who's on our team, comes with me.
Right.
I wasn't going with anybody. Everyone there had a +1,
which really isn't right. If some people have +1s, they should give everybody a +1.
I don't know what happened, but like maybe I was a last minute addition. Who knows? But
maybe you didn't write it down clearly because you were late.
No. I walk in, I look around the room. Every woman is in a floor-length gown.
Oh, that's ridiculous!
I swear, like
I don't believe it.
I have video. These like long, gorgeous black tie gowns. All the men are in suits, and I'm like in Gucci loafers and trousers.
Well, I thought you were very apropos with the cars.
But here's the thing.
I thought it looked great because I saw a picture of it on Instagram that you posted.
If you didn't see everybody else, you would have thought.
I don't care what they look. They're ridiculous in Times Square to be wearing long dresses at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Like I felt like I sticked out, especially when I was
one of the only
ones without a +1, and then I'm walking around like I felt like I looked like I worked there.
Well, maybe they'll give you a job. That would be a good job.
But here's the thing. Usually, like, we've gone to screenings and other events, and we're always like overdressed.
We're always overdressed, by the way.
And this said business casual, so I figured, okay, fine, I'll actually dress how
business casual.
Dress. No. And I guess I was talking to some people around the room, and they were like, "It's our first movie premiere. It's a worldwide premiere. There's a carpet. Like, of course you wear a dress."
I don't think so. I think you looked adorable. I saw the picture.
Yeah, it is hard at a cocktail party kind of thing.
What happened in Times Square? Were they all walking around with the tuxedos and the long dresses?
Yes.
With the characters on the street?
No. So it was in a blocked off section.
Okay.
Of Times Square that they took us to. There must have been security like in each section.
Okay.
And then the first bit, like you took pictures with the cars.
Oh.
And then the second bit.
I saw that. You look cute with that.
Thank you. We put there was kind of a red carpet kind of thing.
I saw you on that.
So the real carpet with the actors like Brad Pitt who were in the film, that was after we were done. So like the press wasn't even really out. So it was
that's why it was such a long time frame.
Yes.
Because its schedule, it was like a 4-hour pre-movie thing.
So after that part of the carpet,
which isn't right.
We still had like 2 hours before that and the screening because it was their red carpet, but they didn't really tell us like where to go.
So what'd you do
it was a lot of like standing, especially when I didn't know people and everyone else like had people. I really was out of my comfort zone and I pushed myself to be like, I'm just gonna go up to people and like try to make some friends. There was one girl I knew who's at a lot of similar events, so I kind of stuck with her. She's great. And she knew some people, so I just approached people, but like I was definitely very nervous and, like, had to remove myself for a second and, like, go to the bathroom. I was nervous just putting myself out there, like, going and talking to random creators there, like, influencers who didn't and some people were really friendly,
Okay.
and then some people would, like, look down at their phones and, like,
Weren't
weren't
interested.
interested. So I was wondering if you had advice on those situations on, like, how to involve yourself in a conversation with people you don't know, or even walk away from a conversation if you feel like you're not being included.
I think it's a very hard thing to do. I mean, this is a difficult thing. If you don't absolutely know anybody at a function, you almost have to force yourself, go up, say something about the movie, or are you excited about going to see the movie? And if they don't pick up on it, you know what? It's an afternoon or an evening out of your life. There's nothing you could do. There's very little. You can't make up your whole life story at one of these things. So it is a tough thing to put yourself into. I don't really love that. It wouldn't be my favorite day. I'm glad I didn't go.
I know, but I feel like you're better at
No, I'm not better at that.
really?
I'm really not better at it.
But you don't get nervous.
No, I don't get nervous because I really don't care. But it makes you feel awkward, and
Right.
plus the fact you're just standing there.
So what do you do to what do you do when you feel awkward? What do you say to yourself in those moments? Or do you just leave?
I just walk away.
Yeah.
I don't say anything to myself. I'm not going to get carried away with it. I just either see if I had to wait around 3 hours for the movie, I think I would have gone home and come back.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have stood there for all those hours. I mean, who
Right.
cares? You're watching everybody take one photo on a red carpet, and then you're doing nothing till 8:30 at night.
When you're talking to someone, like, what's up, and they come up to you and you don't necessarily want to be in that conversation, even if it's like a guy at a bar, like, obviously you can be nice to someone for 5 minutes. Like, it's very
Yeah.
important to be empathetic, especially today with so much shit. But what do you do when you're like the conversation's kind of done and you want to walk away?
I think you probably have to walk away.
Well, what do you say?
Say it was nice? No,
You
I
just say,
think
okay, it was nice meeting
nice
you.
meeting you, and good luck in whatever your future entails. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you going to say?
Fair. Okay, let's move on to the Ask Grandma Anything. Our followers wrote in some questions on Instagram, so let's see what they said. What's the best sneaker to walk around Europe?
Something with a lot of cushions, because don't forget, European cities, depending on where you go, especially the southern ones, really are all cobblestones. And the streets are not level. So you should really get something with a cushion, because you'll be very uncomfortable in a flat sneaker, completely flat. And
Mhm. Or like chunky, you mean?
yeah, wear something that you've got enough that gives you a little bit of a cushion
Um,
and very
I've
comfortable.
been obsessed with like Brooks running. These sneakers are so cushiony. I'm always on a cushiony sneaker hunt. Like,
Okay.
I want the most cushion
Yeah, well, I think
possible.
it's important.
I like New Balance. I feel like the Adidas ones are too flat.
All right.
So I like a chunkier.
Maybe you wear those at night with
Yeah.
with the dress.
Or like oh my God, what's the brand? Let me look it up. Like something Tiger, Osika Tiger. What is it? On Onitsuka Tiger.
Oh,
I just
really?
ordered these. I don't know. They look like this.
Oh, those are cute.
Yeah.
Did you get them in yellow?
I should have.
Yeah.
I know. I just got like white.
Oh gosh, you're getting so
I
boring.
know.
And you have a yellow bag you should have gotten the
Okay,
yellow.
they're not like I'm gonna order the yellow.
Okay, get the yellow. Well,
Okay.
first try on the white and make sure they're comfy. And if
Yeah.
they're good, get the yellow.
Okay. Besides your work with Kim, what are you looking forward to achieving this summer?
Oh, I don't know what I'm just looking forward to having a good summer. I'm really not looking forward to very much. I just like to have all the kids around and have a good time, and we have nice barbecues in the backyard, or go to people's houses. So just to chill out. It's a time to sort of throw away all your worries and get in the pool or go in the water and just chill out and relax.
What do you think of the saying honesty over harmony? I've never heard that saying.
I never heard of it, but I actually always believe that honesty is the best policy. So
You know?
on it, you must be truthful. And sometimes, even though saying the thing might cause a little dissension amongst who's listening, you should be honest to yourself and say what you really think.
Do you have a favorite piece of art that you own?
Not really. I'm not really into art. I don't really care. I like the
All you'd
pictures of
want to
my.
do is go to museums all
I
the
know because I love art, but they're not in my house.
Yeah.
I love it. I love all the beautiful art, the masters. I like to look at my children's pictures. I have them in
Yeah.
all beautiful frames, and I look at them all the time. But now we don't. As a matter of fact, I was just going to go to the drugstore and have some of the pictures from this spring develop because I sometimes I don't like looking at it on
Oh,
the
I thought you
phone.
were gonna say taking the old photos and digitizing them to have them on your phone. Dancing in heels is painful. The classiest shoe for tired feet. Change to nice sneakers or bare feet. Please don't wear bare feet at an event.
Well, then you have
Ballet
to have a good
flats or
pedicure.
something. Or like I like I just got these not strappy sandals, but they're almost like flip-flop sandals with the heels really low, but they look
I don't think you can dance in those, though. She's looking for something to dance. Just put
I
a
mean,
pair of
how
flats on.
aggressive are you dancing? You always
Well,
say like, "How do I hurt myself when I'm dancing and stuff?" Because I'm always like, "Oh
well,
my."
that's jumping. The way the kids today jump. We didn't jump. We had actual dances. You either did a waltz or a cha-cha or a merengue or something that was a traditional dance.
Mhm.
So jumping up and down is ridiculous. That's a dance today. I don't quite get that.
Okay, last one. Should I keep hooking up with my child's father? We're broken up now for 3 years.
No. What's the point? I mean, you know what? This is a lesson. We keep talking about it, and we've been talking about it for 4 years. When things are over, it's over. Now, you do have a child, so that's a different dimension. And if you think there's a possibility of getting back, but just to have a sex in the evening or after he drops off the child on his visitation, I don't think that's a wise move.
There's more uncomplicated people
Yeah,
you can be involved with.
exactly.
That said, I get she probably has an emotional
Absolutely. And she should
connection.
either figure out what that is and at some point either go forward with it or you must cut it off.
Because you're gonna look back and be like, "That's 3 years I could have been using to
Wasted
get
time.
out of over them."
Correct. Wasted time.
But it
And
all
also,
happens.
and I also think it gives false hope to a child if they see the parents hooking up or not hooking up.
I don't know if
They
they
see
would
that, but if they see them together, then they think, "Oh, my parents are going to get back." Oh, if that's not the possibility and it's purely a physical thing, I think it should be over.
It's a complicated one.
Yeah, it is complicated, hun.
Okay, let's move on to the grandma report. So the article this week, it's actually some stats from YouGov. So it's the differences in romantic experiences between older and younger Americans. So here are the common ones. Uh, so been married, 20% under 30, 90% 65 and up. Been engaged, 22% under 30, 87% 65 and up. Been divorced, 2% under 30, 50% 65 and up.
So what are they trying to prove in these
Just
numbers?
the differences or the commonalities of age groups when it comes to relationships. So far those are pretty different
Well,
stats.
the longer you stay alive, the more time you have to get divorced.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're 25, you're not getting divorced. You're not even probably married. So I think it's a hard demographic to figure out that way.
Oh yeah. So these are the things that older Americans have done more of. Been married,
yeah.
been engaged, been
Of
divorced,
course.
had sex, been on a blind date.
Oh.
What's more common among younger Americans are use an online dating app or
Right.
site.
Okay.
Been in a love triangle.
Oh,
13% young under 30, 22% 65 and up.
yeah, because it's a changing society. It's a changing mores.
Been in a friends with benefits relationship.
Right.
Pretty close stats though.
Okay.
Had a crush on someone that wasn't reciprocated.
Well, that's
Kind of equal
that's
actually.
exactly.
Among the generation.
Exactly.
Lots of similarities. That's kind of it.
Okay. I mean, the report doesn't give you anything that would be earth-shaking because the longer you live, the more complications come in.
I
The
guess
younger
so.
you are, it basically those things don't arrive yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't take any of these surveys to heart. It's what it is the norm. And most people want to be in a relationship and stay with a relationship. I don't care if it's young or it's old. It's just when the younger people decide to make that commitment. It somehow, the dates have been moving towards closer to your late 20s, early 30s, where so there's less time to, in comparison to older Americans who got into a relationship, let's say when they were 19, 20, and 21. So they have more time to make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just what you're doing at that particular time in your life and the mores of that time.
Okay, let's do the drama club. So, Grandma and I went to a Tribeca screening during the film festival for this new Barbara Walters doc that's coming out June 23rd.
Is it coming out on Netflix?
Hulu.
Oh, Hulu. Okay.
It's coming out on Hulu June 23rd, and it's Barbara Walters Tell Me Everything. And I thought it was really interesting. There was a lot of conversations about like how journalism has changed throughout the years.
And she was the pioneer. I mean, she was the pioneer of bringing women in as serious anchors.
Yeah.
I mean, up until then, it was all frivolous, the weather lady or the cooking chapters.
Do you remember
I remember exactly.
And like seeing that shift?
Oh, absolutely, I do, because I was always in news. I'm a news freak, so I watch the news all the time. Barbara Walters brought something to the TV that was not there before. You all had always had men looking out on the 7 o'clock news, and that was just what we expected. And what changed it was she was very, she's very bright. She was very good at her craft, and she somehow got herself the interviews that created the buzz, and the channels the network realized it and started giving her larger and larger spots. And she was very much resented by the anchors, the male anchors.
Yeah, the
which we saw in the film.
Portrayed her as pushy because you had to work. I think she might have said it. I don't remember who said it, but like you had to work 3 times harder.
Well, she did. I think. Well,
than a man did.
Well, she did.
Right.
She had to. She had to prove herself.
Right.
And she loved the job. She was what really came out in the documentary. I thought that was the most significant is she was terrific, and she paved the way for other women. And she was very good about it. I mean, there were certainly, she guarded her territory very carefully. Nobody was taking over her spot so fast. And when it gradually happened, she was a little resentful. But what I took away from the whole documentary was that, so many young people today think they can do everything. And in this documentary, it showed she clearly couldn't do everything. She was wonderful in her craft, but she had a terrible personal side.
But let me just say, this is an extreme. This is the most successful female journalist in the world, maybe could not be the best mother ever.
Right.
But one thing to caveat, a lot of things at play, adopted child, mental health issues, etc. So, but I think most people should know, most women should know, like, if you want to be like good at your job, you're not like the most famous woman in the world.
Right.
You're good at your job and be a good like mother and wife. That is possible.
It's possible. It's just hard. It gets hard to do when you're at a certain that she couldn't make the games or she couldn't get to certain school projects. This is something that's, it happens. We've discussed this with other people on the show who are married, who have families, and there is something that is a give and take. So I thought that made it very real on the camera. But I loved her hair. She went from the 60s to the 70s there. Well, I love that because she was really smart though. She was really, really smart. You had to admire her groundbreaking one was between Begin and the
Israeli Prime Minister and the
Anwar Sadat. Thank you. I'm having a brain moment. Anwar Sadat. And I remember that interview. That was really unbelievable. And the two men really loved being interviewed by her,
I think
which was fascinating.
What was so unique, and we're so used to it now. It's like every interview we see now. But Very rarely did you see a world leader or a celebrity being interviewed both about career and personal life.
Personal life, correct. That's what she did. She got into the person's mind, and she somehow elicited the things that they wouldn't have told the normal anchor.
Mhm.
She was terrific, and she really did her job. And it was I loved I liked it. I
Yeah.
thought it was very interesting and
Mhm.
entertaining.
Yeah. The question also, because journalism has changed so much, you don't need the one Barbara Walters interview to get your story told.
Right.
There's so many different journalists. And with influencers and
right.
social media, one, you have the ability to tell your own story, just
Right.
get online and do it yourself. Or there's so many people, like you could come on Excuse My Grandma and tell your story.
Oh, it's very different.
There's
It's very different.
podcasters. Like, I'm wondering if you think it would have been better off, like, with interviewers the way they were then versus how it kind of looks now.
Well, I don't know if it would be better. I think it was a different time. First of all, people trusted who they saw on the camera. It started shifting, however, with when Clinton became president and then the other presidents that followed him. Everybody started doubting the media, and the media didn't, when Walter Cronkite got on the screen because he was really the most relevant, excluding Barbara Walters. He was the man that everybody watched. 80 million people would tune in and listen to him. If he said something, you believed it. And he had a bias, but you really very rarely saw it on screen. Now, no matter what channel you turn on, there's a bias. And so the American public has gotten used to that and knows, I want to hear this, I'll put on this channel. That wasn't the way it was in the late 60s or even in the early 60s. So that's changed. And people will get their news from a podcast or get it from from an influencer who's talking about something, or from X, or from wherever they're getting their news.
Well, like,
it's very different.
Everyone's going to have an opinion.
Correct.
There's like no nonpartisan.
Which is
people.
sad, which is really sad, because that's what was great, that you didn't really know what they thought. They didn't slant it, so that we really thought maybe they did and we didn't realize. Maybe we were too naive, but I don't think we did. I think they genuinely tried to say the news the way they thought the news was in reality.
Yeah.
But
there's this woman, Emily Sundberg. She's like around my age, and she's having a moment right now. And I was reading an article, and she has like a Substack, and a lot of people go to her for her opinions. And the article was like, "What's it like to be a journalist essentially today?" And she's like, "I don't know if I'm a journalist. Like, I didn't go to journalism school.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm being called a journalist.
Yeah.
Just because I have
a platform.
and these
Yeah.
and she's
Well, they
so
could call
smart,
us.
but
They could call us.
you can
Anybody
call
could be
anyone a
called.
journalist,
Exactly.
anyone not a journalist. Like,
Exactly.
it's kind of just.
It was very different. It was a different time. You can't compare it. But she was great, and I thought the documentary was very well put together.
Agreed. Okay, let's do the rewind. Quickly, what we are watching on TV. Well, first of all, the Love Island US is back, and it is taking over my whole social media feed. Everyone is being obsessed. It's not as good as UK, in my opinion, but I wanted to get your thoughts on like the drama of the last few episodes.
I have no idea, Kim, because I've never watched it. Oh, okay.
So, the concept of the show, there's a bunch of young singles on an
Right.
island, and everybody dates each other, and you couple up, and ideally you walk out with a relationship.
With somebody. Here we go again.
That's always how it goes.
The theme.
So there's this couple, Huda and Jeremiah, and she's actually a mom. But she's in her early 20s, and they, since day one of the show, kind of were tunnel vision each other and didn't really want to get to know the new people coming in. And a lot of the other islanders are open-minded and like will go on dates with multiple people, because that's kind of what you do on the show.
Well, that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, and they're
the
kind of
viewers.
getting a lot of shit from the viewers. Like, the American public voted them apart this past week
No.
but the question is, like, should you go on this show? Like, the whole point is to find someone, so why are they getting penalized kind of for finding someone? But it's also kind of annoying because you want them to play the game.
They want the drama.
But they are
The
drama,
audience
and
wants
they're
the
fighting
drama.
all the time.
Oh, really? All
Yeah.
right. I don't know because I don't watch those kind of programs. And I hope people who are listening to us know this is really not real. Please take it with a grain of salt.
Well, it's a
Don't
produced
model your
situation, but
don't model your own lives about these people. It really worries me. The state of affairs of relationships should not be based on Love Island. So it's fun. It's fun to watch. It's entertaining. Kim loves it. All her friends love it. But it is still a show, guys. So just remember that.
do you know what like love bombing is?
No. No.
So it's essentially when you first start seeing someone and you're like really doting on them and like you're really into them and you're telling them how much and it kind of like gets you in their orbit. And then a lot of the times when people are like that right off the bat, like it's manipulative in some way and then
Okay.
they like drop you or
Right.
like they're controlling, whatever. So the conversation with this is just like if by day one they're like in love and obsessed with each other, like it's probably coming from a unhealthy place.
Yeah, probably is. Or they've been told by the producer, come on,
No, I
guys.
don't think so.
No. All right. I don't know. I don't watch any reality. So I have no idea. I'm very busy watching murders. And I want to give
You don't have to.
everybody
I get it.
everybody
Yeah.
asks me what I'm watching. This week I'm in Madrid. And now they're killing everybody in Madrid. I've gone to every European city. There's one producer. I wish he would get me on in one of his programs. This Walter Present, who is
Maybe
a
gotta take
big
acting
director.
lessons then.
Acting lessons after what we do. Well, I could do it anywhere. I just want to see him film. He films in every city in Europe.
Oh.
And but they murder everybody. There's
I'm
nobody
stressed out by
left.
this.
There's nobody left in Germany. There's nobody left in France.
Oh.
There's nobody. Oh, he's all over the place. So now he's in
terrible.
Madrid.
Okay.
He's in Madrid,
Should we
and
warn them?
I know I'm having fun. I
Okay.
love it. I love it. And the characters are very cute. Talk about the characters.
Yeah.
Each person that plays a part is really adorable. So you fall in love with the characters, usually with the
That's a great
detective.
show then.
So it's fun.
Yeah.
So I'm on season 2.
Okay.
So I think there are only 2
we
seasons.
both watch a lot of TV.
Yeah,
How many
yeah.
episodes a day do you think you watch?
Well, no, I was bad the other day. Poppy and I on yesterday in the rain. We must have we watched from 5 o'clock to we watched about 5 solid hours of this show. That was bad.
That's
We
bad.
didn't even watch the news, which I normally put on at 7
Yeah.
o'clock. I said I can't. He's in the middle of finding a kidnapper right now. I
Yeah,
can't interrupt.
Totally
this.
priorities. I
So,
understand.
and we have ordered in ribs. We sat and watched it in the kitchen. We were so, this
Oh my
is really
gosh.
very bad. So,
I usually watch at least 3 episodes a day.
all right. So well,
something.
I usually don't. I usually watch at night when I come back from dinner. I'll watch 1 or 2
Yeah.
because I don't really watch regular TV. So I like
Mhm.
these stories. And
One more thing on reality TV.
Oh,
you,
okay.
You know the show Traitors?
no.
Oh, okay. Well, it's in its 3rd or 4th season. You know Alan Cumming?
Yes, I love
he
him.
hosts it.
Oh,
And it's in a castle.
I'm in the cabaret, friend.
Yes. Well, he didn't sing that song, but he was the MC
Yeah.
in Cabaret. The best. So the outfits he
I know.
wears in
He's
every
he's so
scene of the
fab.
show. Like,
He's fabulous.
well, it's in a castle in Scotland.
Oh,
And he wears these it's so good. So it's a bunch of reality stars come to this castle.
Right.
And they play, it's basically like Russian roulette. Like there's a traitor among the crowd and everyone has to guess kind
who's
of
the
who it is.
traitor
So they just announced the cast
for the coming
coming season. So we have Lisa Rinna.
Oh, wow. Oh,
We have Donna Kelsey, Travis Kelsey's mom.
right. Oh, fun.
Major.
I know who she
that's
is.
hilarious. Dorinda Medley, who's a Real Housewife. Colton Underwood from The Bachelor. Rob Roush from Love Island. Maura Higgins from Love
You
Island
see,
UK.
they make a fortune from
It's
these
'cause
programs.
every show, it's going to have a fan
Right.
somewhere.
Exactly. Very smart.
We
Very
have
smart.
a few others, like a comedian, Dancing with the Stars person, a RuPaul contestant.
Okay.
Who would you put on that show?
You.
I don't know, but you know what? Obviously, it'd be
could
an
be on
amazing
it.
opportunity and, like, they're not asking me, but
How
I
do
don't
you
think I
know?
would do it because it's basically like Survivor, like Fear
Oh,
Factor.
oh, oh.
So it's like they'll, like, throw, like, bugs on you,
Oh, I
or
hate
they'll be
that.
like it's really, like, grueling physical
Oh,
challenges. Like, I'm not doing that.
no. And
But I
definitely don't
will
call me.
go with Alan Cumming and, like, wear the outfit and, like, be his little assistant.
Exactly. We'll do the back. You'll do the stage hand things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, people are, like, mixed on the cast of this one, but
Okay.
I think
I
it's stacked.
I think it should get. It has different things for everyone to
Yep.
watch.
Yep. Okay, let's play a game. Should we bring it back? Um, Homemade breakfast. I was thinking about this with, like, Father's Day, like, breakfast in bed. I feel like we don't see that.
I never had breakfast in bed. I don't think
Yeah.
Poppy ever did that.
I
Maybe
eat
if I was
breakfast in
sick. Maybe if
Oh.
I was sick, he brought me breakfast in bed when I was pregnant.
Right.
And then I didn't really even want the breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like I need it, but I can understand where it is a treat. I actually like to get up and make my own breakfast. We sit together and have breakfast, but I do like to get up and make my own coffee the way I like it,
Right.
make my own toast the way I like
Yeah.
it. But I think it's very nice, and I would definitely bring it back.
I eat my breakfast in my bed
Oh, I never
all
eat
of
in
the
bed.
time, but I've not been made by somebody else
To
a
breakfast in bed?
in
Okay.
bed.
Well, all right. That's where you're.
I would try it.
It's very romantic.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll share toast or something.
Right. Um, Socks and sandals together.
Oh, I think that's
Was that
awful.
ever in?
Yeah, for nerds.
Yeah. So let's not bring that
No,
up.
I don't like that look. It's ugly.
Yeah. We just talked about this, but physical photo albums.
Well, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I still like that.
Mhm.
But that, in today's world, I don't know if you get a picture. So you'd have to go to someplace
Lot
where
of
they're gonna. It's a lot of work.
But it's kind of a cute gift, like a scrapbook of photos or
It's
a
very
photo album,
sweet.
like for a 1-year anniversary or like a parent.
Or
I think it's a
baby
nice
shower, or
gift.
something that you want to really remember
Yeah.
and hand down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay. Thank you all so much for listening. Another great episode of Excuse My Grandma. Remember again to follow the show. Also, go to Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Snap and follow us on there. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.